This is the Abby Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird and that's normal. Last episode, we met Jenene.
Is this a darling named Jenene?
Who had a very exciting journey discovering her biological parents, father, Clay, who she met on the Sally Jesse Raphael show, and mother, Vicky. She also found out that she had two half-sisters, Julie and Jenny. Yes, the three sisters have very similar J names. When we concluded last show, her mother, Vicky, had passed away, and Jenene said,
You know, she can die with a clear conscience.
Yeah.
Michelle comes along and hold my beer.
Here I am.
So I thought I was the big secret in the family.
Nope. Here I am.
Yeah.
The bombshell's name is Michelle. She is a new sister, one that Jenene, Julie, and Jenny did not know that they had. She is the daughter whose existence Vicky took to the grave. And I don't like that. After all the cobweb sweeping that Jenene did, how is it that Michelle's name didn't float up and out of the dust? But I guess maybe they and I can look at it like a special surprise gift that just shows up with a cute little bow on top. Either way, I want Michelle to be able to tell her story, the whole dang thing, from her grandparents arriving in the U.S. to the day she became a happy bombshell. Because the ending is really great.
We talk every single
Every
day. I could tell her anything. It's just completely free. It's such a gift.
Grateful for it.
Yeah. Got, best friend.
Both Michelle and Jenene are here today in black t-shirts with their tattoos peeking out the sleeves. And their lives growing up in safe and happy adoptive families were also similar. Michelle's parents were always honest with her that she was adopted.
I was adopted when I was 6 days old.
They were good parents, but still, she fantasized a little bit about her biological mother.
Did you have fantasies?
The only thing I had is when Roseanne Barr, of all people, had given a daughter up for adoption and found her that she was adopted from the same place I was adopted from in Denver. And I was like, I got the dark hair, I got the... So it was kind of like, could I be her?
Oh my God, you're like, am I Roseanne Barr's
daughter?
child? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And similar to Jenene, she had some troubles, especially in those teen years, with her mom.
also when I got mad at my mom, you're not my real mom.
I did the same thing.
Oh, did you? Oh,
It's so hurtful.
So mean.
Your poor mom.
I think about it now and I'm like, sorry, Mom.
She struggled with not looking like her family.
I have a brother that's 15 years younger than me. And that's it. I didn't have any sisters. I didn't have, anything like that. Same thing. Didn't look like any of them. They try to say I look like my dad because he's tall and has dark hair. But I'm like, no.
But this was her family, and they had a deep history and tradition that, of course, they shared with their precious daughter.
She used to tell me my favorite bedtime story about how they walked around and they looked in bassinets and, no, that's not the one for us. And then, found, there she is. And, always made me feel very, very special. Chosen. Exactly. Chosen. That used to be my favorite story.
So many stars had to align for those parents to be there that day, gazing into each bassinet until their eyes alighted on little Michelle. So I want you to hear some of their journey, even though this part isn't a very good bedtime story.
My mom was a German Jew. Holocaust survivor, actually.
Your mother was?
Yeah. My mom and my grandparents lived in Berlin. And then Hitler was coming through. My great uncle Oscar was a physicist in Germany. And he told them, you got to get out. You got to get out. And somehow arranged for them to get on a ship to Shanghai. They went to Shanghai, which there are a lot of survivors that ended up in Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
If you go into some of the Holocaust museums, there'll be a section dedicated to the people that were in Shanghai.
Mm.
So there they were held prisoners of the Japanese in like an encampment kind of thing. And my mom when she was 9, I think, had her appendix removed with no anesthesia. Yeah. And had to share a bed with a woman whose legs had just been amputated. She has one story it'll just break your heart, where all she wanted for her birthday was an apple, just a red apple. And my grandfather sold his watch to get her that apple. And she didn't want to eat it. She carried it around. But my grandmother was finally like, it's going to rot. You got to eat it. You got to do something. But that one apple was the only thing that she wanted. And he did what he had to do to get her that apple.
Oh.
So, yeah. And then when the war is over, they got on a ship and came to, I think, Philly. They didn't do New York. I think it was Philly when they first came to Philly. The day they got to Philly, it was Halloween, and so they're in a little temporary apartment, and hear these kids in masks and they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They don't have Halloween in Germany, so that was their first. My grandmother was like terrified. So they ended up moving to Denver, and my grandfather had a successful accounting business, and they did really well. A lot of the same people that they knew in Shanghai also moved to Denver. They even had like a little club,
right? So
of all these people. They had a community of the people that had been there in Shanghai.
Uncle Oscar made it out okay too.
The Nazis were trying to get him because they wanted him to help design an atom bomb. So he actually took all of his paperwork, everything, buried it way out in the forest somewhere, and then he would go from village to village or town to town to town. And the Nazis would be hot on his trail, but the people that were in these towns would cover for him. And then when the war was over, he went back out in the woods and he got all his stuff. He used to play chess with Einstein. He and Einstein used to be friends.
Oh, my God.
I know, it was so cool.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They used to play chess.
I'm learning some new stuff.
They used to play chess together. So my mom used to go around and talk to like the World War II club, to high school classes talking about the Holocaust and stuff like that. And my grandmother wouldn't eat rice ever again because that's all they had was rice.
Right.
But we lost family members in concentration camps and all that kind of stuff. So
they made it to Denver, Colorado, not without scars, but were able to make a life for themselves. Her mom married a man named Les and then discovered that she couldn't have children. So they went down to the Jewish Family Home Services, filled out all the forms, and that's where the legend begins.
Yeah, and then they adopted me. And she used to tell me my favorite bedtime story about how they walked around and they looked in bassinets and, no, that's not the one for us. And then, found, there she is. And, always made me feel very, very special.
Even though Les is on her birth certificate, he didn't actually turn out to be Michelle's dad.
And Les died of cancer when I was 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then she met my dad when I was 5. And then they got married. Then we ended up moving to Florida. We were in Colorado up to that point.
Man, that is a lot.
So, she went through a lot. And I don't know, I just never felt like, even though I'd be mean too, and I'm going to go find my real mom kind of thing. Yeah. I just kind of felt like, they got me when I was 6 days old. So she's really all I've ever known.
Yeah.
And I don't have a bad life. I was spoiled rotten. I was the only child till Andy was born.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And grandchild.
Yeah.
So I was spoiled rotten.
You were spoiled.
Yeah. So, I had a good life with them.
So the parent lottery worked out okay for Michelle. She had a good life. And just when she was least expecting it, her mom also got some good news.
Yeah, she couldn't get pregnant until, they were up for adoption for a little boy because they wanted a little boy. And the day that there was a little boy available, she found out she was pregnant with my brother.
Oh, my gosh.
So they were like, yeah, we're going to cancel. Yeah, we'll cancel that order now.
Take a girl now.
Oh, gosh.
So for me, being the only child for so long, and grandchild. And then here comes my brother.
Shock to the system.
Mhm.
Did you hate him?
I don't know if I hated him, but I acted out.
Yeah, I bet.
really did.
Okay, that was not a fun surprise for Michelle. That's Michelle's family creation story. It wasn't until her mom passed away from breast cancer in 2018 that she started thinking about her family medical history and knowing something about her biological parents. But she didn't really have the means to pursue it.
I tried to get my medical records from the adoption agency and was told, well, what courthouse was it? Well, this is Denver. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know, and for every time that I was going to try, it was like $75. I'm like, well, I can't afford that.
So she tried the internet route, and that proved very fruitful.
So I did 23andMe just because they have some medical stuff that they, can look for. And I'm like, well, it's better than nothing. And then it came back and it said, do you want to, put your DNA out there? And I was like, yeah, might as well. Yeah, within a week, I had...
It was like ping, ping, ping,
yeah,
ping.
yeah. I had 2 nieces on my paternal side. And then our cousin, Mike, found me.
Our cousin Mike. This is where Jenene comes into the picture.
I was talking to him, and he's the one that told me I had 3 sisters. So did Mike?
I think he reached out to Julie.
I think Mike reached out to Julie and was like, hey, yeah, there might be another one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Julie goes, oh, we got to do 23andMe. And he said, well, our cousin had found a first cousin on 23andMe. And so I'm like, well, wait, we should get to us. So, and we had talked, and I remember thinking, like, even if she's not my sister, I'm going to adopt her. Right away. And then, yeah.
There's no barriers to entry in this family.
No.
Jenene was surprised, but not at all shocked. Her heart was open to add more. Vicky's daughters were a bit more hesitant. I mean, they'd already gone through the shock of Janene's reveal and gone through their mother passing.
Well, I talked to Mike first on the phone, and then I think I talked to Julie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Julie was still kind of skeptic. We didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know. And then when the results came back, there was no doubt. It was like 27% or, it came back, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sisters.
It was a shock to Michelle as well.
So this all for me, just like Jenene, was a whirlwind. Within 2 weeks, here I had a new family.
Yeah.
And I was just like almost in shock because you just don't expect that.
Yeah. While Michelle was processing all this, Jenene was doing something most of us probably would. She was cyber stalking, doing some preliminary detective work to figure out who is this new sister.
So it's pretty funny. So when I first found out about Michelle, I went on Facebook and I was checking her out. And
Did you really? You never told me that.
Oh, remember I thought that your son was your husband? I'm like, go,
that's
girl.
right. That's right. My son.
And then also I was nervous because she's from Florida. I was like, oh my God, please don't be a Trumper. And I saw her in this, remember the tape dress?
Oh, from the cruise.
Yeah, talk about that. I was worried.
I definitely want to hear about a tape dress.
Okay, so I was on I can't believe I used to do them, the Kid Rock cruise. Right now I'm just like, nah. But it was before all the political stuff and and I was just going with friends. We didn't have a good time.
Right.
So they had a redneck prom night. So my daughter made me out of duct tape a prom dress.
Yes.
It was the Confederate flag. And so that's what she saw.
I was like, oh my God.
Got it.
Please don't be a Trumper.
No.
Yeah, so I was really happy to find out that was not the case.
Yeah. Oh, what a relief.
Yeah.
After the initial scare of the Confederate flag tape dress, a cute story about something a daughter made for her mother, and also a thing Michelle would not wear today, Jenene and Michelle started talking on the reg.
Jenene and I mean, we started communicating almost every day.
And then a kind of amazing thing happened for them. The world went into lockdown, and neither of them could work. Oh.
And then through the pandemic, because she wasn't working and I couldn't see clients.
Right.
We watched movies together, and we were supposed to go on a cruise in 2020. That's where we were going to meet for the first time, as we were going to cruise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we
okay.
decided to go on a cruise.
That fell through, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we would just talk every day and watch movies, and we just really got to know each other and have so much in common. There's very little. I think of 2 things that we've discovered that we don't.
Yeah. She like, we have definitely vegetables that she likes that I don't like. She liked football, but now I'm sort of liking football. So I think there's been a bit of influence on that.
She's pulling you to the dark side.
Yeah, she's pulling me to the dark side.
I'm pulling you to the dark side.
Yeah.
They found that they were super connected and had a lot of common interests.
We both love RuPaul. I mean, drag queens is our thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
rock and
how
roll, tattoos,
movies, music.
Yeah.
We just clicked.
Spiritual stuff.
Yeah. Just a connection was just.
I mean, we read each other's minds. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I'll be just thinking it, and she'll be like, say it out loud. I go, shut up.
Out of my head.
Get out of my head. I did that the other day. She goes, wait, get out of my head.
Jenene and Michelle's biological mother, Vicky, passed away before Michelle got to meet her. But at least she found out who she was. You didn't get to meet Vicky, right?
No, I did not. Now, I saw the video. She sent me the video immediately. And like Jenene said, there was like really no connection. It's like I'm watching it. I'm going, well, here's this, my sister, and this is wonderful that this is happening to her. But there was no connection with that is my birth mom.
Right. Jenene and Michelle worked together to fill in more holes in their mother's story. And it turned out they are very close in age.
Apparently she liked the military because I was born in Denver.
I was conceived in
She
Denver.
was conceived in Denver.
It was a military man. We're 18 months.
We're 18 months apart.
That's it?
Yeah, we're 18 months
So she was
apart.
busy.
She was having fun.
Yeah. Wow. She was a ho-ho.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
With maybe not enough access to birth control.
Right.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Vicky. But,
Have you met your dad?
No, I have the 2 nieces. We think we know who it is, but none of the men in that side of the family will do 23andMe. Mm-hmm. So, it's so funny because all these people, have all their dark little secrets.
That's right.
Now 23andMe is coming out and everybody's finding everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
This is so common now.
Yeah.
So, but they weren't married, Vicky and...
No, I'm under the impression that my situation was more like a oopsie one night stand, maybe, or I don't think there was any kind of relationship, but they had a little bit of a relationship. Right? Clay and
they
Vicky.
dated. I don't think very long. I kind of believe I was probably conceived out of loneliness.
Loneliness is not the worst way to be conceived. Are you itchy about your biological dad? Like, do you want to know, or?
I mean, it would be nice to know, yeah, but not, am I going to be heartbroken because of it? No. And that side of the family seems to, like I said, they seem to have a lot of secrets about different things. Because what's really interesting is the 2 nieces, one of them is almost on the sister range on 23andMe as far as the percentage, and the other is definitely niece. So I don't know if there's something a little shady going on with that or not, but we don't have any way to find out.
These numbers are not numbering here.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
She's like 22%, and we're like 26 and 27 or something.
Sounds like there
that.
could have been some going on in that family.
Yeah, which is probably why the men don't want to be.
That's
right.
right. Yeah.
Don't wanna do it.
Right.
And she can't get. One of the nieces is trying to get her mom to do it, and she won't do it either.
So there's definitely some big old secrets on that side.
Yep. And maybe you don't want the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm happy with my sisters.
Yes. Be careful what you wish for, because it's not always great. So.
Now, Michelle always knew that she was Jewish, as you heard. But when Jenene found her mother, she and her half-sisters also discovered that they were Jewish. What about for you?
Well, I always knew I was a princess. I just didn't know I was a Jewish one.
You were close.
It's funny because I grew up very, very religious Christian. And so it was interesting. It was like, I was sort of like, when I watch the Holocaust movies now, I go, my people. There's a little more heart there, I guess, but I don't know anything about it. We wanted to try to learn a little bit more about it, the Russian Jews.
We're what is it? A Kosh?
Yeah, Ashkenaz.
Ashkenazi.
Yep, that's what we are.
Yeah.
Jenene is still learning, and she didn't get any information from Vicky about this, who claims her religious parents disowned her. But luckily, with Michelle's background, she has information she can share. There was one upside to this new part of Janene's identity that she was ready to explore.
I did think, oh, this is a whole nother dating pool that it's just
That's right.
So I went on to Jewish dating, and then I didn't understand the rest of it. So I didn't, because I didn't know the different Jewish.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You were rejected, basically, because you couldn't pick a box.
No, I couldn't pick a box. I'm like, oh, well, I tried. But I did think, oh, my possibilities have opened up. I'm Jewish.
It's all been a lot to process, but they've had good times already getting to know each other. They went to Nebraska to visit the extended family and did an epic sister trip.
Well, last year the sisters came to me and we rented a gorgeous beach house.
Oh my God.
Oh, all of you guys?
Yeah,
Oh my
on St. George
gosh.
Island, and spent three days together.
Oh, it's
It was so much fun.
beautiful.
We had so much fun playing Monopoly and just acting like sisters. Just we
Yeah.
felt like kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how
We got
magical.
pop rocks, and we're sitting there like, oh, and the pop rocks are going on.
All the things you wanted to
All
do
the
as
things
a
you do
kid,
as a kid,
as a kid.
to do.
Right.
We could have been some alcohol involved in that too, but we had a good time.
And they're finally seeing people who look like them.
When we were at the grocery store before we headed down the beach last year, this woman comes up and she goes, "Sisters, right?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Oh my
I was so excited.
It's
We're
nice
like,
to
we're seeing
Look
it now.
at like somebody.
Yeah.
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 It
Yeah.
really is. It
Yeah.
really is. So,
Mhm.
but then even when the sisters picture we had when we first met in the airport, you could just see resemblances all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sitting there comparing. Oh, wait, I had 6 fingers. Oh, I did too. All those little.
Yeah, I did have that question watching the video. Does everybody have the 6 fingers? Like, how strong is
Did
this
Jen?
trait?
I don't remember.
I thought Jenny said she did.
Did she?
But they were just, I have these little, they look like little warts, but they were just these little fingers that were tied off. And
See, I don't think I have them.
yeah.
Michelle avoided the 6 fingers, and she avoided the name confusion.
Jenny might have had them.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and there's the thing. Okay, Julie and Jenny, she was adopted. She ended up with the J name. I'm like, well,
Michelle.
Michelle.
So we're like, we have to give her a J name.
Give me a J name, an honorary J name.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got tattoos together.
Oh, yeah. We got our little,
It's a little J.
our little initials.
Our initials.
Like this, you have the J.
Yeah, for me.
And then you have
and I have the
a
L for
J.
Michelle.
Nice, that's so cute. Aw, sister tattoos. These two genuinely, for real, adore each other.
And
So fun.
It's
I mean, we seriously, we talk every single
Every
day,
day.
all the time. It's just really nice to have somebody I completely, I can tell her anything.
Yeah.
There's no religious stuff. It's just completely free.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get advice, and we really support each other when we're having bad days, and
Yeah.
just, it's such a gift. It's
Mhm.
such a gift to have.
Jenene was really close with her big brother, who passed away last year. So Michelle has been the big sister that she didn't know she would need.
And especially with my brother passing, this year, having her around, they're the same age. He was September 16th and hers was 22nd.
22nd.
Oh, wow.
Same year.
61.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just been such a gift to have an older sister. I always wanted older sister,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Another similarity between Michelle and Jenene is that they've both put in work to recover from what they've been through, including things they didn't even know they needed to recover from.
Now I'm in therapy now. I'm doing EMDR therapy because it was brought to my attention that I do have abandonment issues because of being adopted. Actually, we have a lot of the same stuff that we've noticed with relationships and stuff. But she's done her time, her
I've done
work.
some therapy.
I'm still there, but
How does that manifest for you? Abandonment issues,
well, apparently not feeling like you're good enough
Mhm.
in friendships, feeling left out. when really
Yeah.
it's not, or why did that person tag that person in that post and didn't tag me? I would have thought, I should have, your brain just kind of works like that.
And also, I mean, there's some studies about like your cells have experienced, the first thing you experienced is abandonment. Of course we got adopted right after, but that first, and I think you hold that in your body. And even though you do work and everything, it's still, and
well, if you think about it, you've been with your mother and you've had that energy and you're familiar with that energy when you're in the womb, and then it's not there anymore. So it's gotta,
it's maybe an unconscious thing.
Yeah.
But, like babies are, they know their mothers and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, a lot of this, like you said, like worried about being left out.
Not good enough.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think if you read a lot about that, if you read more about adoptees and stuff, there's a lot of that out there.
Coming out, yeah.
Right.
That I didn't realize.
It's like a deeper level, like soul, cell level that we don't even realize.
Yeah.
I also feel like I've noticed over the years with my like love life, I'm still single, and I think so many of the connections I've had with men have come from a place of loneliness.
Yep.
And I feel like it's almost like the sins of the mother, and I've noticed that over the years. I'm like, it was more of a desperate need rather than, I really like this person, they're really good or whatever. It was it felt like there was a lot more of a desperate need or loneliness, like, oh, I'm going to sleep with this person because I'm lonely and I want that companionship.
Right.
Which is so fascinating to me because we both had great adopted, parents and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was still that thing that's missing for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, same with me. I feel the same way about relationships with men.
Yeah. And I mean, I struggled with my mom, and there was that whole thing of not being good enough with my mother because the way she was with me, it was like, oh, if you can't do it right, don't do it at all. And that creates that feeling of like you're a little kid in the kitchen helping your mama. And, and she takes it and said, well, if you can't do it right, don't do it at all. And then right away, you're starting to go like, well, it changes something inside of you at that core level. And then it keeps going and going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then, it creates you to be a certain way. Like, so, I'm not good enough created me to be a good girl. And that works sometimes, but it's not authentic. And so there's this whole other thing being like, okay, I'm the good girl, but then, I get walked on because it's not real.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be, it can help in some things, but it's not real. So it creates something in you unless you've done work on yourself and are aware of it. You live your life at a certain, I can go on.
Yeah.
I've got a therapist in my head. You need to be aware of what you become because of these messages.
Right.
So you can change it.
They're both considering doing some dating. I mean, they're both hot and single and have a sister best friend to tell giggly stories to. Sounds fabulous. But in the meantime, they're one another's date for Valentine's Day.
I'm a huge Aerosmith fan. And we were supposed to go see them in Tampa, and then Steven did something with vocal cords, whatever. Anyway, canceled. Well, they've now rescheduled it for Valentine's Day in February. So I called her the other day. I'm like, will you be my Valentine? She's like, what? I'm like, they've rescheduled. So she's going to come to me and hang out.
Yeah.
Fun.
Rendezvous, down at the 6th Street Rendezvous.
They had a long journey to get to this point. It took Jenene decades to find her biological parents, and Michelle didn't make it in time to meet her mother. So I'm wondering what their opinion is on requiring open adoption. How do you guys feel about, so there's been a push recent, adoptees talking about putting laws around that adoptions have to be open. You have to have that information. So I'm just wondering, do you guys feel strongly about that or don't you?
I do.
You do.
Yeah. I think I call it my heart puzzle. And when I talk to clients about my story and they're saying, oh, we're thinking of adopting or whatever, I always say, I think an open adoption is the way to go because it's just human nature to want to know where you come from. And it doesn't mean you're trying to replace your family. Like when I met my birth mother and met my birth father, I was so grateful for my parents. Like I remember, after Vicky had called me up that day and was upset that I had told her daughters, I remember calling my mom crying, going, I'm so thankful. We had a hard time, Mom, but thank you for not lying to me. Because, the more I got to know what my life would have been like, the more I was so grateful for my life.
Yeah.
And so, but I do feel that open adoption, there should be a way for you to be able to at least find out your background, if they want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as being someone that's adopted, but then you got to think about, well, like Jenene said, be careful what you wish for, because whoever it was may not even want to know who you are, and that to me could cause a little bit more psychological and emotional damage, So it's kind of like, I think at least medical records should be released.
Yeah.
Because that really screws, not
Right.
Do I have a history of breast cancer? Do we have, what?
Right.
But I mean, open adoption would be good too. But my advice is just be careful.
Yeah.
It's not only going to turn out like ours did.
That's right. That's right.
It's not always a good sitch.
Yeah, it's a little Pandora's box situation.
It is.
Right?
Yeah. It is.
But definitely medical records. I think you're right. You at least have access to medical records, so you know what diseases you might need to look out for, or what you need. Because that's like we have no idea.
We have no idea.
Well, and the other thing, I guess maybe this is a small percent concern, but like accidentally dating your brother or sister.
Oh, yeah. That's true though.
Yeah, it does. And it's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you want to add about your whole experience?
Grateful for it.
Yeah. Got best friend out of it.
Yeah.
I parked the van in the alley.
Lost about half the gear.
There's 5 souls crowding the dance floor.
What the fuck are we doing here? Someday.
This week, Michelle is visiting from Florida, and they have a whole itinerary planned. Listen to these two.
We went to Felton and took the train through the Redwoods.
That was awesome.
And did Santa Cruz.
San Francisco yesterday. Walking around the Haight, which was cool.
Went to Cha-Cha-Cha's. One of my
went to
favorite.
Cha-Cha's.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of shopping. Golden Gate Bridge decided it was going to be fogged in for
Yeah,
me.
it was foggy.
Oh,
Went to
okay,
Chrissy
whatever.
Field and it was, And then today we just tootled around. We met our friend for lunch. Last night we had dinner with a bunch of my friends.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I have a show at the Baltic Kiss in Richmond. So
Okay.
we made sure that she would be here for a show.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so she comes see my band.
I went to go see Jenene perform with her band, the Hyperdrive Kittens. And she's a really fun lead singer.
You're a slippery little sneak.
On stage, Jenene is wearing a short sequin red dress, and Michelle is sitting right in front in a sequin pink tank. Apparently, they did not plan the matchy outfits. It's just one of those things sisters do.
Little snitch. I've got such an itch. Tell anybody, little boy, I'll break your tinker toy. So let's have fun.
And then Sunday we head out to Monterey to go meet Michael and Jody.
Okay.
Probably do the aquarium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do the
Yeah.
aquarium.
Yeah.
And
And then we'll come back and then we're hoping to see Jason Momoa.
Momoa Wednesday.
Oh.
He's going to be at
Lucky.
Lucky's, but there may be a long line, so we'll see.
Like, is he
We'll
doing
see.
like a meet and greet or something?
Yeah.
He has a vodka.
Yeah.
So he's signing
Oh.
bottles of vodka.
In Alameda or
Yes.
Yeah.
in Alameda? Jason
Yes.
Momoa is going to
Yes.
be there.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come hang out
with us. 'Cause we're gonna get chairs and
We're gonna try
Yeah.
to do it. I go, it's your last day.
chairs.
What do you want to do? I want
Yes.
to be
I
Jason
wanna be
Momoa.
Oh my gosh.
So
I want to go up
see.
to him and go, just hold me like you hold Khaleesi. Just please let me
Yeah.
wrap myself around you.
Yeah. Well, it's so we have these like
Our body
pillows. And we've named them, and mine is Robert Downey Jr.
And mine's Jason.
They totally got a picture with Jason Momoa, though he did not hold anyone like Khaleesi. With that, we were wrapping up the interview, and they were heading out for their next few days exploring California together. But there was one more bombshell that they were unintentionally holding on to. Jenene knew that her mother, Vicky, was troubled by her past.
When she was saying she was hearing babies crying, and I was thinking, oh, she's it's all about me, you know. And then I find out, I'm like, oh, maybe there's more to the story than, you know.
There was definitely more to the story. Secrets that Vicky took to her grave. Michelle's existence was revealed, but is there more?
And then we think we might have an older brother too that we don't know about.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. What? An older brother? They're meeting up with their cousins Mike and Jody soon, and this is where the rumor of a brother originated.
And he may know a little bit more about our brother, because it was my understanding that our brother used to live with them.
Okay.
And then he just kind of disappeared.
Okay.
So nobody knew.
Please tell me about this brother situation.
We don't know.
But
He's older than me.
Yeah.
Well, where did the idea come from that he exists?
This cousin.
Okay,
Mike told
Mike.
us. Yeah, Mike told us.
Back to
Yeah.
Mike. Okay.
I think he said he remembered, but then there was something about Vicky just leaving the son with the father.
Yeah.
So there's so much we don't know. So much we don't know.
So we're hoping that, maybe they can fill in the gaps a little bit for us.
So yeah, we're hoping there'll be a little bit more information.
Their hearts are open to whatever new information may come their way. They now understand both the satisfaction of knowing your biological roots and the reality that blood alone doesn't make family ties. So Michelle just keeps watching 23andMe for whatever new siblings might upload their DNA.
Every time 23andMe does a dump of new relatives, I always look
You keep
to see
looking.
if there's anybody that high. It's usually like, eighth cousin, so I don't usually bother with it. But
Regardless of all these surprises, Jenene and Michelle are so grateful. They're grateful for their mother's choice, which gave them stable home lives, and parents who told them that they were so wanted. Now 3 family stories have been woven together: the struggles and resilience, the pain and difficult choices, the mistakes and heartaches and joys, the rejections and reunions. And they're so grateful for finding one another. Their differences are interesting points to explore beneath the mounting commonalities that bind them. And that's the story of Jenene and Michelle, long-lost sisters. You guys are cute. When we go upstairs, remind me to take your picture, too.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Awesome.
Grateful?
Yeah,
Yeah?
that was
Okay.
fun.
that was awesome.
All right.
That was fun.